Hey guys, welcome to the SimRacingPaddock. I'm William Marsh, and it is time to test out Assetto Corsa Competizione. You guys have been asking for it, and it is time to live stream it. And I have been so excited for this. I have my early test of my first impressions of the sim, and so far they're a little positive. However, that was an early build. Now we have the day one build, and let's take a look and see how it is. And first off, I want to do a quick overview of things and some of my impressions. First off, let's start with the main menu. And I like the layout of this. Personally, I like the layout. And you actually can now navigate with the wheel or a gamepad. You need to map it in the controller options, which we'll get to in a minute, but you can navigate using a controller or a wheel. So, career currently grayed out. That is not present in the early access at this moment in time. Same thing with championship and multiplayer. You do have single race and you have special events. Both of them are with the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 at the Nürburgring GT layout. So we will take a look at that. Also, one thing I want to pull your attention to, which could be big, is this box right here. This box says Blancpain GT Series, and it's grayed out. I have a theory. This is a theory, no confirmation or anything. This could be the series selector box. I could see this as being a box where you click on this and you can jump between different titles or different series in the game. So Blancpain might just be the beginning of Competizione. Also, if you navigate between the windows, it does say AC2. So that was at one point the code name for this title. So with that being said, I think more series are going to be coming to ACC later on, maybe as post-release DLC or something like that. So there's that. Then there's the driver setting. So driver setting, that's currently grayed out. I'm guessing you can check stats, things like that. Gallery for screenshots. And yeah, so the menu is pretty straightforward right now. And it's interesting though, because when I was testing the early build, it was version 0.0.7. Now it's 0.1.0. So yes, there has been an update for day one of the early access. So that's my early thoughts on the menu. Let's jump into options. So options, we have the general settings, which very, very minimal right now. Replay max length 30 minutes, which is all you are going to need right now because race length is a maximum 30 minutes for setting up events. Language, you can set to English, Italian, and those are only two options. Okay. So very, very minimal. Assists, you have gearbox, clutch, engine start, and which I am happy to see. Wiper, lights, pit limiter. You can set those to automatic or manual. If you set to manual, I guess in the future you'll have manual pit procedure and pit request. So that's cool, but right now, Assetto Corsa Competizione does not have support for pit stops. That is going to be coming, I believe, in 2 months. And again, I did mention in my first impressions, the engine starter is not working, so I leave it on automatic. But for now, also we can jump between presets. So you can go beginner, rookie, expert, or pro. And then you can customize based off that. So there's that. And then we have the HUD. You can select or deselect other options for the HUD. It's not nearly as comprehensive as what Assetto Corsa has, but at least it gives the info. Video settings. I had just about everything at Epic. We will see if that works all right for me. Resolution scale, I will keep at 100. I was running at 120, and I think it is okay for when I'm not streaming, but I had to use some of my graphics cards power for encoding for the live streaming. so I'm going to scale down to 100. Sound, you have the master sound, onboard and exterior engines, opponents, tires, and so on. I muted the music because I don't want to get hit with a copyright or anything like that. Radio communications is straightforward. Controls. This is where we need to map everything. So steering lock, we need to go down to 900 because that's what I'm using in SimiCube. And speaking of SimiCube, I need to switch my preset. So I will do that real quick. If it'll let me. Okay, it will not. But yeah, so we will, for now, map the settings. So map steering to SimiCube, throttle, brake, and clutch. And one thing that someone was telling me about was they're having issues. So make sure that for steering, it is not inverted, because you do not want inverted steering. For pedals, those aren't inverted. That is good. Shift down, shift up, shift up. Cycle camera, I'm just doing a click in on my rotary encoder. So there's that. And then a lot of people were commenting, talking about how they can't adjust some of the settings like windshield wipers and stuff. Here's how. Click here. Lighting system. You can enable lights, cycle light stages. That is just turn on, off, and turn the lights. Thank you, William Burfield, for subscribing. So you can do that. You can even set directional lights. So I guess the blinkers. Enable rain light. Why not? We'll take a look at that. Electronics. Electronics. This is important. So cycle wipers. That's how you turn on the wipers. Pit speed limiter, I always have set to the same spot for different sims. You can change engine map. You can change brake bias. You can change the display page. You can increase or decrease the anti-lock braking system or traction control. So we will do traction control there and there. ABS. And then brake bias, I will set to my rotary encoder. So there's that. And then engine map. We'll just do that. Then user interface. This is how to adjust for the menu. So up, down, left, or wait. Left and right. And then you can do cycle right, cycle left, pause, forward. Forward is your select. Backward is go back. So that's how you do that. And then advanced settings, shift special button. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, unfortunately, right now. But I guess it might be the adjust other settings. But yeah. So now my wheel is controlling the menu. And that's a quick overview of all the menu stuff. So press B, go back. And now we can go to single player. Go to single player. And then you have the game mode, circuit, and team. Very, very straightforward. So you can go game mode. And then there's quick race. Maximum is 30 minutes. Practice. And in practice, you have the time multiplier. So you can actually set it to go higher or lower speed. Maximum is 48, which would be a half hour simulates a full day. Then there's hot lap, which is, as it is explaining, hot lap, free practice session, hunting for fastest lap, and then hot stint. This is to try to ensure constant lap times. But for now, let's do a quick race. And Maximum opponents of 20, which is kind of frustrating. Opponent skill, I'm going to do 94. That's what I was finding fit with me. Okay. So, we will do that. And then circuit. You can see all the tracks, but right now only the Nürburgring is selectable. But we have Zolder, Monza, Brands Hatch, Silverstone, Paul Ricard, Misano, Spa, Hungaroring, Nürburgring, and Barcelona. So there's that. Go into team. Right now, only car that can be selected is the Lamborghini. But you can change the team, change the livery, pick one of your choice. And then for each team, you can select a different car. So there are different cars and liveries depending on what team. So you can do that. And then you can select the driver you want. So if there's a specific driver you like, you can do that. Then go down to realism. And there are different presets. So beginner, rookie, expert, pro, and custom. Right now, I will mention damage does not work. Damage is non-functional. So the damage model has not been revealed yet. I don't know when that will be revealed right now. So keep that in mind. Tire and fuel rate consumption, yes. Brake temperature, yes. So we'll do that. Formation lap, you can either have that or skip, I guess. Or you can have also like unlimited tire sets for a race weekend or something like that. But we're not going to worry about that for now. Weather. You can set for choose from a variety of presets. Sunny, cloudy, light rain, medium rain, heavy rain, and storm. Dynamic weather will be coming later on, I guess. So hopefully dynamic weather will work well, at least. So there's that. Assists, we already looked over. So engine, clutch. Whoops. So we'll do engine, clutch, manual wipers, lights, and pit. Even though we're not going to use pit. So we will do that. And we will start the race session. Do I know if Nordschleife will be added in a future update? I have no clue. I find it unlikely, to be perfectly honest. Hopefully, if my hunch about different series is true, we'll see that. So, this is the pre-session screen. You can start the race, go into options, and change the setup. So you can see there are 3 presets you can choose. The safe preset, which makes the car more stable, but it has a little more understeer. Aggressive preset. It's the preset that's more aggressive. It's a little riskier to drive, but it could be faster. And then wet preset if it was raining. And then you can jump in that. And you can adjust settings. So like tire pressures, electronics, fuel and strategy. So you can pick the fuel level or the tire compound. We're going to be on dries. Mechanical grip. So this will handle a lot of the suspension settings. Then also dampers. And then aero. So you can set the ride height and the wing or splitter. So it's cool to see that. It is presented well. I will give it that. Jay, this is not FIA sponsored. This is actually from SRO, which is a different organization, which does have a variety of different racing series. So we could see different stuff. But Blancpain is not affiliated with FIA. I just wanted to clarify that. So we are now jumping into car, and what the heck? My steering is backwards. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. In the early build, I was having an issue, and it looks like that issue is coming up again. I cannot adjust control settings in a race session, so I have to back out for some reason. But my steering is inverted, so I need to go into options and fix that. That's interesting. Could be a glitch. So let's go into advanced settings. Yeah. But the thing is, this is showing as correct. Oh wait, steer scale inverted. That's weird. Okay. So somehow the steer scale got thrown off. So let's quickly jump back in. One thing I'll mention is the load speeds aren't that bad. Load speeds aren't that bad. That was pretty quick for loading a full field. So we're going to be starting in 6th place, is probably according to this. So
hey, the race is about to start. Hold your position until the green flag. Watch out in the first corner.
what the heck? Now my steering's not working at all. What the flip? Okay. Let's try this again. So advanced. There, that is working. Let's jump into assist real quick. Engine start, we need that to be automatic. We need, I don't know if we need clutch to be manual, but we'll see about that. So, let's see real quick. That's working right now. Confirm, yes. We'll jump in. So, we'll not do the race at the moment. I'm just going to do the quick session and see how this is. If you leave the control tab on the keyboard, the game doesn't use the wheel. Okay, so let's see. Drive. Please work.
Give it all you can.
That is working. But now force feedback's not working. Come on. I'm confused right now. Why the heck is this acting up now? This worked fine for me like the early preview. Did they break something in the 1.0 or let's check. Force feedback? That's our problem. Force feedback gain is at 0. So by default, okay, let's get this straight. By default, Assetto Corsa defaults the sim to have no force feedback. Really? Really? I mean, every other sim would default it to having 100% strength. Every other sim. But this? Okay. Okay.
Here we go. Go, go, go.
Much better. Okay, much better. Now we have this. But yeah, force feedback by default for me was 0. This is much better. I have the feeling now. I'm happy with that. So, again, this really does simulate the cold tires, cold brakes well. You really need heat into the tires. So, okay, I want to address something. Gamer Muscle, he was talking about how he was experiencing input lag. He was experiencing input lag in the game. I have absolutely no input lag. I have just about no input lag right now. That's just an interesting thought. Yeah, that's instantaneous reaction. So I don't know what's up. Is it something with his monitor? Because I don't know what monitor he uses on his setup. Does he use something like a TV, which has like higher input lag? But I'm not seeing any input lag with this setup. Force feedback. I talked about how in my early impressions, I felt that it's a decent foundation, and I'm sticking to that. In my opinion, this really feels like it is a solid foundation. It is planted on the ground in a way that I didn't really feel Assetto Corsa was. Assetto Corsa, the car's force feedback, it's good, but almost feels floaty in comparison. I'd say it's almost the difference between steering and driving. Steering is one thing. Driving, simulating the steering wheel connected to the steering rack, connecting to the wheels, which are connected to the road. Those are different systems that need to be simulated, and you do get to feel that in ACC. So there's that. It's not perfect though. As we saw in the settings, there are only two options for adjusting force feedback: gain and minimum force. The steering is heavy and muddy. Some people might not like that, but in this wheel it feels good. I can still tell the detail. I can still feel the detail in the wheel. I get the detail over the curbs, things like that, and I enjoy it. Also, one thing to keep in mind is force feedback is subjective. Force feedback is designed to compensate for effects that you would not get in a simulator because you're missing out on that seat of the pants feeling. So I don't think there's ever going to be such thing as the perfect ideal simulation or the perfect ideal force feedback. That I don't think is really ever going to happen because there's always going to be that disconnect from the sim to the real world. I'm not feeling myself getting thrown around in my seat. I'm not going to feel the pain from hitting this wall. It's just something that you don't get in a simulator. Even with a motion rig, you don't get it to the same extent. So with that being said, that's where force feedback comes in. It compensates. So Assetto Corsa decided to compensate in this, or their way. Assetto Corsa Competizione compensates in a different way. iRacing does in their own way. R Factor 2 does. Race Room does, etc. So this is something where I feel like this, it's still a little behind other titles. It still is a little bit behind, but it's in the right direction. I want to see settings where you could maybe turn down the friction, turn down that natural damping in the wheel that's present. So there's that, and I think that if they allow more force feedback settings, which I'm really hoping they do, it'll be pretty darn good. So it's starting to get dark. Let's turn on the headlights. You could see them on a little bit, not as bright lately, but also I want to do a quick run through of the camera angles. So this is the standard cockpit. You can change the field of view in the pause menu. So you can go into pause, FOV settings, and you can either adjust the height, the distance, and the field of view, which isn't a degree. In a degree, it's awesome. Codemasters, take note. So that's for the cockpit camera angle. Then you press this button, and that's the close-up camera angle. That's also in Assetto Corsa. So you have this angle too, which some people do like. It might be a little better for people with triple screens or looking for a more authentic field of view. Gives a decent sensation of speed at least. press again, and you have the helmet camera. This has even more of the look to apex, rolling the head, like head movement and stuff like that. So I thought I was gonna hate this camera angle. I thought it was tacky and everything, but I'm actually feeling myself enjoying it a bit. It feels almost like I'm looking out, like similar to my Oculus Rift. It adds that a little bit of depth and immersion with the head moving around, and it's not horrible. So I could see people enjoying this camera angle, but they do need to adjust the head movement properties. That is something they need to add an option for in a future patch. Then here's the rear angle. I won't be surprised if I spin here. Has the exterior sounds. And it's brutal. So, Assetto Corsa Competizione is still using Fmod. It is still using the Fmod sound engine, but they have really fleshed it out. It really does have that extra bit of depth, and as Smash Legends is asking, it has ambience. There's the ambience, it feels like there's depth to the world around you, and it's nice. The crew chief is okay. It is quite repetitive though. I'm not a big fan. I prefer the crew chief app. So hopefully the crew chief app will be released soon for this. We are seeing telemetry apps updated to support ACC, so I could see the crew chief app supporting ACC in the near future. But the sounds are pretty awesome, in my opinion. It does sound a little better than original Assetto Corsa, which I like. Just hearing that punch and the upshift and the downshift, like the downshift that backfires brutal. Just listen. I just really like the sounds. It works well. It works well. CDR, there is no damage model yet in ACC. They have not implemented it yet. Knowing Assetto Corsa and Kunos Simulazione's track record, I'd likely say it's going to be around maybe the December patch when they would implement damage. That would be my guess. I think it would be fitting for them to implement it alongside endurance racing, which I believe that's coming in November. So maybe November patch is when damage will be coming. But yeah, so far so good. Also, the lights from outside, very weird. Can't illuminate properly in some spots. It does seem like the lighting is a little off. I've heard that can be a trait for Unreal Engine titles, but it's okay. So this, I think, is higher beams. You can see the lights are a little more illuminated. This is lights all off. You can't see squat right now. Turn on that slow beam, I think, and then high beams. But one thing, so I talked about this a little bit in my ACC first impressions video. Draw distance is something that is frustrating for me right now. Unreal Engine titles are notorious for not having good draw distance, and ACC isn't really an exception there. You will see quite a bit of pop-in. You'll see details, especially where it comes in the way of rain and puddles. Puddles on the track will sort of just pop in at you, and it's irritating. It is legitimately irritating, but it's okay. Hopefully, Kunos can find a way to enhance it so you can see puddles from further out, so you can anticipate them and avoid flat spots. Or not flat spotting, aquaplaning. But yeah, so far this is pretty fun. But let's jump into a race now that we got this car set up properly. So we can go to quit. This will take us back to the menu. So we're back in the single player menu. And we can go over to the quick race. Yeah, full house, that's one way to put it. So, I'm going to do a 25-minute race. 25-minute race, and I'm going to start 19th. So, I've been noticing Gamer Muscle, in his video, the cars stopped at around the 20-minute mark. At around the 20-minute mark, the cars would just come to a halt. I never had that in the pre-release build. I never had that before. So, I want to see how it is now. Bex, I believe there are leaderboards. I was seeing leaderboards set on ACC, I think. Maximum race length in this first release is 30 minutes. 30 minutes is the maximum length for this right now. I think it's in 2 months, they are going to have the endurance race longer layouts. So keep that in mind. But right now, it is just 30 minutes maximum race length. So, yep, steering is working.
Right, this is a long race session. Watch out and remember
Okay.
speed 10. Repeat, position 10.
I might be noticing some input lag now. It's not as snappy. It's not as snappy frame rate wise. Still feels about 60, but for some reason it's kind of sluggish. That's interesting. Just feels kind of sluggish compared to what it was before. So Gamer Muscle might have been onto something. Why in this field? Because I can tell I'm still getting around 60 frames. I can still tell I'm getting around 60 frames. My OBS is showing at 60. Little bump there. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm actually going to do something real quick. I'm noticing my chat is blocking the standings. So I'm going to move the chat over. And boom, I make a mistake. There are going to be formation lap options. There are going to be options for formation lap. So formation lap will be present, just not in this build. I noticed the option in the assist menu, but it was grayed out. So let's start making some moves. Because we can't finish last this race. But yeah, it seems like there is some optimization that needs to be done. I wasn't getting this input lag issue that I was seeing in the pre-release, though. Strange. But input lag is definitely here now. What will be the price? Right now, it is 25 or 30 US dollars, I think. Okay. Now that we're away from the cars, it is a little more snappy, so it does seem like the input lag is based off of the frame rate, which makes sense. But it seemed like it was still above 60, I think. And I'm running with a GTX 1080, so should be solid
Well,
performance.
fastest lap.
So let's close in. But man, they need to get my crew chief some caffeine. So we're closing in on this Audi. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see why they went with Unreal Engine, because it still baffles me a bit, but at least they've got it functional. They need to really enhance it more, though. I think they can do more to enhance it. But the physics, they do feel largely like Assetto Corsa, and maybe even a little closer R Factor 2 level. I think it's a little closer R Factor 2 level, I think. I think it works okay. But it's weird. In my pre-release testing, I wasn't getting this issue. It just seems like it's draining my resources more. I heard there might be an NVIDIA driver to help with ACC, so maybe I'll load that later on, but yeah, it's interesting. And one thing I do want to call Kunos out on is look at the rear view mirror. It looks like they smeared a tub of Vaseline over it. It's just completely blurry. You can't see detail in it at all. The level of detail is abysmal. And yeah, it's, I think, partly due to the pop-in. It just still seems there's a lot of optimization to go. Hopefully they can optimize it. I don't know if that's just an engine limitation. If it is, that makes it even more perplexing on why they would go with Unreal. And okay.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
This is weird. I mean, I did spin out before in that corner, but I just got no indication there now. I don't know if it's a mix of the input lag or what, but it just seems like I'm not able to catch slides the way I was in my preview. Okay, let's just keep focused. Let's keep focused here. Let's see if we can close in a bit. Still got 20 minutes. But yeah, you see the pop-in in the trees. You see the lack of detail. It just, the graphics don't seem as crisp as what we are used to in AC. And it's a bit of a shame. Maybe graphics do need to be turned out. I will try that next race. I'll see how it is on medium settings, because I'm guessing other people, they will need to run it on medium. Because I'm running this just about maxed out right now, I think. But the car models, they look good. Look at the details on the welding on the left side of this car. That looks good. But it's interesting closing in on this Audi again. I might turn up traction control a bit. So I have that set here, so traction control up to 4.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front.
Yellow flag, I don't know if that's someone who spun or what. But this guy, he is not putting up a fight right now. Okay.
Yellow flag, yellow flag.
Nublet Pie. Online, I think, comes out in a couple months. Okay, I think we're seeing what Gamer Muscle was talking about.
Yellow flag, be careful.
Kunos, what the heck? What is going on here? Let me try. I don't know. I do not know. This was not present yesterday. This glitch was not in the game yesterday. What did Kunos do? Something caused this issue. I can turn on headlights, okay. But
Yellow flag ahead, be careful.
I don't know. I ran 10 races getting footage for this. I ran 10 races in like 2 days getting footage for my first impressions. And I never had this issue. I never had this issue running 10 races in version 0.0.7. And now 0.1.0. Okay. So something broke. Something obviously broke. Because that bunching up did not occur in my testing. That's kind of funny, though. That's funny. So we were talking about dropping the settings, so we'll do mid and see how that looks. So this would be like average consumer, not doing high-end stuff, I guess. Still, I'm keeping the temporal anti-aliasing, though, because the FXAA does not look good. So, let's try a night race now. We'll see how that works. We'll see if that same issue pops up. So yeah, we are now doing this with medium settings. Gonna see how it looks, how it performs. This is version 0.1, correct. Still, some latency.
Remember that the race is long. Our target is B10. Repeat, B10.
Still nowhere as smooth as what it was. Hopefully it's just because of streaming. And yes, I do have headlights. I do have headlights. Wow. That, oh my gosh. That, like, pace car limiter spun me out. That pace car speed limiter spun me out. Oh my gosh, no brakes, no brakes. How did I not hit anyone? I did not hit anybody. So, the frame rate feels... This doesn't make sense! The frame rate feels worse than when I was driving with epic settings. I don't have visible opponents turned on. Oh! Sparked a bit in the rear. Turn off motion blur. Okay. Let's see if I can from here. Motion blur disabled. Yeah, it does seem like there needs to be some fixes. Yeah, I'm running with a GTX 1080. It shouldn't be performing this poorly. Okay, I want to check something. So here is like the other settings and everything. I want to see if there's something for frame rate. Looking for a frame rate setting. I'm not seeing an option to turn on frame rate. Ti at 120 frames per second. Virtua, this has been marketed as an early release for months. So, yeah, this was clearly marketed as an early access. But, yeah, there still needs to be a lot that needs to be fixed. Let's turn in. Next up, I'm going to turn it down to low. Wait. That's still epic. That could be my problem. Apply. Slightly more snappy. Still kind of sluggish. But I'm kind of mad right now. In pre-release, this worked great. But yeah, this is having some problems now. So green.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out.
You're saying green Lambo's gonna stop? We'll find out. But yeah, let's hope they optimize it. Right now it needs it. I mean, it's still fun, and I bet it might be drivable when I'm not streaming, and that's sapping up my performance, but still.
Well done, mate. Your fastest step so far.
We're closing in, though. But yeah, I mean, still I do feel fairly comfortable recommending this. I will test with the new driver later, but yeah, I think it's okay. Medium graphics is slightly an eyesore, I will say that. Yeah, we're closing in on the Ferraris. But yeah, so the main things I want to see improved in ACC. That AI glitch the frame rate and the visuals. The visuals are a little frustrating because pop-in is definitely present. Pop-in's present, you lose detail on the cars, and yeah. But so far so good. I mean, the game hasn't crashed, which is nice. I actually was able to catch a slide right there. That's nice. Okay, we're closing in. Go on the inside. Oh, man. So that's one of the moments I absolutely love in Assetto Corsa Competizione, though. When the car ahead of you bottoms out and sparks fly and you just drive right through them. But yeah, I'm also wondering, or wait, I just realized something. I realized I had that top text still on. This is Assetto Corsa Competizione. Bought it. The brakes, they didn't do anything there. Flood, we were running in epic settings earlier. This is medium settings. So let's go back to epic because it seems like it's not really making much of a difference on our frame rate. So yeah, we can do that, and this is epic settings. You can see it's a lot smoother. It looks pretty nice. The rear view cameras, the rear view mirrors garbage, but it looks pretty decent. Oh snap. It's happening again.
Be careful there.
It's happening.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out.
Well, that's one way to make a pass. Okay. So yeah. Picnic time. That's funny though. Now we're ahead of the cars. Frame rate's a little better. But yeah, they decided to stop and be on their merry way again. Hopefully there's a hot fix later this week. Hopefully there's a hot fix later that week. They say you cut the course. Yeah. But yeah, so it's weird. I'm exceeding the virtual safety car delta. And boom, that curb, like, runoff just sent me flying. Let's see how long it takes for these cars to pass me, though. There's one car that passed me. But you see this issue I'm talking about with pop-in. So, we're out here. Where are the other cars? Where are the other cars? You don't see any light. Handling is a little better than AC1, but it's not perfect. But I'm enjoying it so far, even with its, like, poor-ish performance. Yeah, I'm not seeing any headlights. So, yeah, it's a car meet, not a race. I guess so. Let's see how far they've stopped. I don't think I'll get disqualified, right? Oh, here's a car. And that guy just popped in out of nowhere. So yeah. No wrong way warning either. Interesting. Well, let's check something. Press F2. There's the wrong way indicator. So where, like, let's see. It seems like the cars aren't popping in weird. So here, where are the cars? Go down to Schumacher. You don't... Okay, there are the cars. You can barely make them out.
Yellow flag, be careful.
Okay. Yeah, they're stuck, all right. So yeah, the race has an issue. We'll just put it that way. Let's try something though. Let's do a 10-minute race. Quick first impressions. I'm confused right now. Because in my early impressions, it was good. It was good. But now that the day one patch is hit, something is magically broken in. Nublet Pie, yes there is. There is a hood cam. So, let's see. We'll try this one more time. Also, I want to experiment with something. Number 63 was having the issue. Number 63 was the car that stopped. What happens if we pick number 63? If that's the problem car, will there be another problem car? Or will this be magically alright now? We will find out. But yeah, something seems broken. So let's give this a go.
Alright, remember, the race is long. Watch out for traffic, and remember...
Well, the guy didn't run out of fuel because he was still revving the car. The guy was revving the car, so he didn't run out of fuel. It was like the brakes got locked. But yeah, bugs should be expected. And this is still day one. Hopefully they do a hotfix later this week.
Green light, go, go, go.
Wow, that shattering though. But I mean, when it looks good, it looks good. I will state that. Wow, these guys brake so much. They were practically at a stop in the first corner. But now it seems like it's starting to iron out, but... Physics, it feels, in my opinion, like some sort of weird mix of Assetto Corsa and maybe with some R-Factor 2 elements, which is actually saying something. The only complaint I really have is you don't have much of a feeling to catch slides. You don't have the feeling to catch the slides as well as you did in Assetto Corsa. That edge is just bleeding sharp. But yeah, so let's see.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out in front.
The tire model feels good though. I will state that. The tire model's good. The cars feel like they have decent weight to them, which was something I thought was missing in Assetto Corsa. The cars actually feel like they have weight to them, which I like. I like the feeling that these cars have weight and mass that you can throw around, but the slip angle needs to be tweaked a bit on these tires. Will this game be moddable? I do not know yet.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
But yeah, it's weird that the AI is just freight training right now, because they didn't even do that in the in my preview build. They actually would race side by side each other with a few turns. But yeah, now we're making some easy passes. Running a little wide. Make sure not to spin it. But yeah, this new patch has an issue. Hopefully they can resolve some of it, because 0.070 was better in my opinion. 0.070 was better. Have I noticed flex and wall warp? Maybe a little bit of flex through the physics. I haven't really seen any visually. I haven't seen visual tire flex, but a little through the physics maybe. It is just so weird, though. It is so weird, because this is almost a totally different title than what I tested yesterday. Hopefully they can fix this via a hot patch or something.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
Well, that was a big pass there. They just got really hard on the brakes. Callum, personally, I do not endorse G2A. G2A is what I found to just be a very sketchy site. I mean, granted, I have bought games there before in the past, but also I have definitely gotten burned by them. I've gotten burned by G2A before, and that kind of sucks. So I'd say G2A, be very careful with it. I do prefer cdkeys.com. CD Keys, I think, is a little better.
Yellow flag ahead. Be
Well,
careful.
yellow flag. Let's hope it's not for the cars assigned to be on a picnic. Seems like cars are still going, though. Okay, so we have 4 minutes to go.
Well done, mate. The fastest step so far.
They're battling side by side.
Be careful. Yellow flag ahead. Watch out.
It is a little easy to pass on the outside. It just seems like now these cars don't give up too much of a fight. And it's picnic time! again, it's a green Lamborghini with the issue. It is... Juan Pablo, I have not tested with a Radeon, but yeah. Well, this got interesting. Let's go a lap around and see how it is. Like, if that Lamborghini will still be there. Because I do see cars still stopped. But yeah, it's a different green Lamborghini this time. So they really need to refine this. It's just so weird. I never had this issue. Never had this issue with the 0.7 build. So what happened? Well, let's just finish this race. Windows, you missed just some very erratic AI behavior. That's the main thing you missed.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
So, one issue I'm having is the AI cars will just come to a complete stop in the middle of the race.
Yellow flag, be careful.
So yellow flag is out, so I'm guessing we'll find out. I'm looking at the map.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out.
I don't see the cars. So I guess, or nope, they're going up the hill towards Schumacher now.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out in front. Yellow flag, be careful there.
So yeah, cars stopped in the picnic.
Yellow flag ahead, be careful.
Thread the needle. They say you cut the course. You need to give the time back. But yeah, so weird. Jody, I have it set to 900 degrees in SimuCube and 900 degrees in game. So you need to check the settings. How's force feedback and feel of the vehicles? So the physics are okay. The physics feels sort of like a mix of Assetto Corsa and maybe some elements of R Factor 2. The force feedback is leaving quite a bit to be desired, though. Force feedback might feel a little closer to Project Cars 2 with a lot of dampening. So, yeah, it's not horrible, but there's a lot of room for improvement. But yeah, so this is frustrating, though. Hopefully they resolve it. I'm hoping they fix it, but we'll see. I don't really know. But yeah, this is making me a little concerned right now, because this was working great in my preview build. Now it's like, what the heck's going on? So yeah, I mean, right now I'm done. I'm done right now. I just think that there's too much that needs to be resolved right now. But I'm irritated right now. I really am. Last night, I was so excited to try this some more. I was so excited to give this a go, spend more time, and do just some online, like do some live streaming for you guys. But now, I guess this 0.1.0 patch, it broke something. I'll do a quick race with rain. We'll see how that goes. Let's hope my frame rate handles it. We'll just go down to high settings for now and see if that helps with anything. So let's go single player, weather. We'll do medium rain and see how that goes. So start session. Let's see how this is. Can't have a picnic in the rain. Well, we will find out. So let's actually shoot. I want to check something real quick. Because I had a glitch happen. I mentioned in my preview that it would default to... Okay, it's wet tires this time. That's good. Virtua, I'd say yes. It's not my favorite racing title, but it's a good racing title with decent variety. So let's turn on the lights, turn on the wipers.
Alright, mate. Remember that this is a race session. Watch out, and remember that our target is P10. Repeat, position 10. Alright, conditions are wet. We have some slippery curves, and also watch out for your braking distance.
For the heck of it, let's do this helmet camera for this race.
Green light, give it all you can.
Early on the brakes. And again, they just come to a stop. They come to a stop in the first corner, and I don't know. In the future corners, they do okay. So I felt that aquaplane right there. Seems like they're racing pretty hard right now, side by side by side. The rain is very challenging, which is fun. Excuse me. I know it's early days, but yeah, it's just so weird. It's so weird that I was testing out this same game yesterday and things were working well. And now it's broken. That just doesn't make sense in my mind. That in one day they broke it. But I guess that's early access life. Because in my early access testing, again, I ran 10 races. In the night, in the rain, in the night during the rain, in the day, special event, and they would never stop. They would never stop for that picnic. So there was that. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed right now, but hey, again, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. This is the first day of the early access. We still have roughly 6 months to go before the full game comes out. There's a lot that can happen. But yeah, driving in the rain is a legitimate challenge. You feel the car wash out under the puddles. You need to be careful not to spin out, not be too aggressive on the gas or the brakes. It's a fun challenge. I don't think I upgraded the NVIDIA drivers yet, but I don't think that would influence AI behavior. I mean, it would understandably fix my frame rate, but yeah. Suka, as of right now, it is worse than Assetto Corsa or Project Cars, or R Factor 2. It just feels vague. I wish you could fine-tune the settings. There's only 2 settings you can adjust: gain and minimum force. And yeah, they need just to adjust some settings, allow you to turn down the damping a bit. Damping is just too high, I think, in my opinion. But it's okay. Let's just hope it improves more.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
I mean, in some ways, the force feedback is a little better than AC.
We are at the halfway mark.
The car feels like it has a little more weight. It's a little more substantial. You feel a little more connected to the road, but catching slip angles, things like that, that's just not there. So some things are better, some things are definitely worse. Devs have been relatively okay. Sometimes they've been great, sometimes they have been absolutely horrible, to the point where sometimes the developers would insult community members for trying to bring up something. So yeah, sometimes AC developers are good, sometimes they've been nightmarish.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
Well, yeah, let's hope maybe in a day or so we could get a hot fix. Because this needs a hot fix. Bad. It can't go on for another month this broken. But I'm gonna put some trust in Kunos. Say that they likely have this under control. Okay, I stuck my nose in a little where it didn't belong. I'll take the blame for that.
Yellow flag ahead, be careful.
Please don't be picnic time.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out.
Nope, it is picnic time. They've done it again. That's 2 green Lamborghinis coming to a stop. What is it with green Lamborghinis? Yeah, again.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front.
Picnic labels going viral. But yeah, I'm frustrated because the Assetto Corsa Competizione I drove yesterday is not the Assetto Corsa Competizione I'm driving right now. That is just... I don't know what's going on. Let's hope Assetto Corsa Competizione 0.1.1 comes out as soon as possible.
Yellow flag, be careful.
I know that was a bit of a dive bomb, but it's so weird when they break so flipping early.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
Yeah, let's hope they're scrambling to fix it. Because the thing is, the ACC I tested yesterday was pretty darn good. It really was. And I'm just going to take this quote. First impressions are everything. If someone's first impression of this game is like this, it's not going to be pleasant. People are going to remember that. The pass in the grass. But yeah, I mean, once I catch word of this being fixed, I'll do another stream. I'll do another stream as quickly as I can once they fix this. But this is something that needs to be fixed. It really does. So, hopefully it fixes. Hopefully it gets fixed. Hopefully it does. And when it does, I'll be happy to show it off even more. When it is fixed, I will be very, very happy to drive it more. But until then, I'm a little concerned. Fail 5554. The bug is that apparently green Lamborghinis are stopping at the track and they are holding up the field. So that's a big issue. But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see how long it takes for the hotfix. But yeah, until then, I'm not sure how much coverage I'm going to do right now of this, but it's just so weird. The Assetto Corsa Competizione I drove yesterday is not the one I'm driving right now. That is the weird thing. The ACC I was driving yesterday is not the mess that it is right now today. So let's hope it works. Let's hope this will be okay. And yeah, so I'm going to call it a night, guys. I'm going to try getting some rest, but for now, thanks for watching, guys. For the SimRacingPaddock, I'm William Marsh, and you have a good one. And let's see if we can save replays. I don't see a way to save replays, so yeah, that's unfortunate. But until next time, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this stream, and I will see you next time. And thanks, Maximilian, for subscribing.